I mean, dealing with the people from Special Olympics, I knew that when I gave them the record, it was going to go towards a good cause.
It came about from Jimmy and Vicki Iovine, and Jimmy's dad had died near Christmas time the prior year.
By strange fate, Bruce Springsteen called me up at my sister's house to tell me he was sorry that my father had passed. And I was on the phone with him. I said, Bruce, if I can get a Christmas record together, would you be part of it? He said, man, it sounds good.
Jimmy had the original vision, and he wanted it to be pretty much the same rock and pop stars that Jimmy had been working with over the years.
My vision was very much inspired by Phil Spector's Christmas album, which was have all the great artists singing different Christmas songs.
And I think that was part of the success of the record, is that we never went to make it as a charity record. Jimmy always wanted to make it as an artistic record, so we didn't make the album for the Special Olympics. He and Vicki made it as a musical, artistic piece of work that the money went to the Special Olympics.
I think it was just marketed like that for authenticity. Here's a great Christmas album, and people wanted to hear a great Christmas album, and that created a vibe of, let me get this music, let me rock out.
When you start out with Bruce Springsteen and Bono in 1985, other people join, are willing to come to that party. Isn't that how things start like that?
The one and only Jimmy Iovine called me up and asked the U2 group to get involved. Deciding to be on the very special Christmas album didn't seem like a big decision at the time. We were hugely honored to be asked. There was a resurgence of that sort of Phil Spector sound from the 60s. Darlene Loves, Christmas Baby Please Come Home had that gigantic sound to it, huge emotions, like an operatic sound. So even though it wasn't a song I was hugely familiar with, I kind of knew it. I loved the sound of it.
Then we got Run-D.M.C. and they wrote their own song.
You want to give back, especially to those who need help, those who need love, those who need encouragement. And Bobby Shriver was very close to my family, and they called, and I'm like, I'm in. I think it was in my kitchen, cooking, and I just took a pen, and God took over. And I wrote it, and at the end, there was jelly on the paper from eating breakfast and writing at the same time. I picked the wallet up, and I took a pause, looked at the license, and it said Santa Claus, $1 million in it, hundreds in G's, enough to buy a boat, mansion, car with these, but I'd never steal from Santa, because that ain't right. So I was going home to mail it back to him that night.
These guys wrote that song, and it was just the song of the moment.
We promised every artist who was on the record that we would make sure that we were always seeing that the money was spent on program, but making program go internationally, because we had international artists.
The global expansion of the Special Olympics has been the most inspiring thing of all, I think. As important as its work is in the US or Ireland, I think it's even more essential in developing countries.
Well, Special Olympics is important. Now more than ever, it's for the people that want the love, that need to be connected to one another.
It's about acceptance. And at the finish line, if you come running into my arms, I'm big and you're big.
Well, what surprised me about the project was that it actually became what I dreamed it would become. And when it became a giant perennial Christmas album, I was just floored. And I was so happy for Special Olympics and all the musicians, everybody that was involved. I'm most happy with the fact that it worked, because not everything works. And when something works, it's a miracle. But to have a miracle around Christmas is like, okay, can't do any better than that, right? You know?